Howdy everybody! I feel like a lot of my videos with you guys have been in my bathroom. This is another video where we're going to start off in the bathroom, but we won't finish here. So in the middle of the night last night, I came in to, do bathroom stuff, and there was a puddle on the floor over here. I tasted it. It wasn't urine. I'm kidding. I didn't taste it, but it was not urine. It's 2 a.m. and I've got to track down where a water leak is coming from. Not fun, especially when it is very cold overnight. So I was, groggy, and then I was wide awake. Then I was fixing problems, and then I was still wide awake. Let me show you what we did. All right, so start at the source and work your way in. This is the inlet on the water, and if you have a better solution for this, please let me know, because I don't like this. I don't hate it, but I don't like it. What I do hate is having the hose plugged directly into this. That's a lot of tension going on. So I've got a right angle here, and then this is a flow regulator. And I'm probably gonna put this on the other side of the hose. All right, in the wet bay is where we are now, and this is the other side of that connection I just showed you. And right on the bottom of it, it was dripping water. It was a very slow drip, but it was enough to create a puddle on the floor, and that's not fun. So we turned the water off, and now I'm out of the wind. It has been really, really windy here in Texas. We had 30-mile-an-hour winds all night long and all day the following day. That's a little rough in a trailer, especially a little tiny 25-foot trailer like this one. It was a swaying and a rocking, and I had nothing to do with it. Made it really hard to sleep. So what I did was I just shut that water off outside and then went back to bed because the problem's over. Well, I cleaned up the puddles too. I mean, duh. On to the repair. Way more trips to the hardware store than I care to mention. We were able to get the plumbing parts that we needed. I used PEX and a bunch of PEX fittings. And it turns out that through the wall fitting is actually a standard type fitting. So I replaced that while I was at it. All right, I'm hoping that did it. We have the city water inlet, we have the pressure reducer, we have the meter, and it's registering 1.2 gallons. I'm gonna come back in 30 minutes and see if that number's changed. And then we have a right angle elbow inlet to reduce any type of pressure off of that. We come over here and we take a look, and all of this blue PEX that you see all the way up to this fitting here, I have replaced, and so far it's all looking pretty good. So this line down here comes over to this T. This is the city water inlet, and then this is to the pump, and this pump is going to be able to pull water out of our holding tank, and I can shut off the city water internally. Before, there was just a T here and there was no shut off, and I don't know, maybe somebody's smarter than me, but how would that prevent it from shooting water out the back door? But for now, it's fixed, and there's more room in this bin because there aren't hoses going everywhere, and let's hope for the best. I came back in half an hour and the needle didn't move on the meter. Then I came back an hour later and it didn't move. Then I came back 4 hours later and it didn't move. Then I came back 8 hours later and it still hadn't moved. So I am convinced that it ain't moving at all, and we are done with the plumbing repair. I also went ahead and filled up the holding tank and tested out the pump situation, and that works fine as well. So on to the next adventure.
Do you have one of these things? Then you probably have a lot of dust in your trailer. There's always dust everywhere.
These are great weights to carry with you on the road,
because I can fit 50 pounds of dumbbells into a little compact space like this. But this is an example of the dust that I am trying to deal with.
And then, not to blame the dog for everything, this is an example of where this dust comes from, is the great outdoors. There's gotta be some way to get rid of this. So I went and got myself a air filter. I'm gonna set this thing up and I'm gonna run it for a couple of weeks. And through the magic of video editing, we're gonna do it all in one video. Let's get this thing figured out. This isn't a sponsored video, but this is the Fullman Air PU-P07 air purifier, and it does come with replacement filters. And I thought it was going to be a lot bigger based on the pictures, but you can see this is a 32-ounce tumbler from Arctic, and that's the size of it in the box. So let's get it out of the box and see how small it actually is. And there she is outside of the box. Not much difference in size. One of the things that is really important to me for RV life is to have everything run on DC power as much as possible. So this thing is USB, and it comes with a USB-A to USB-C cable. At first this was a little confusing with the unlock and lock feature here, and I thought you had to just twist this part. But it actually splits the case in half and lets you have access to the filter. Fairly easy to open, and there's your filter. And like just about everything else today, this thing does not come with a wall wart for your USB, expecting you to have one. I happen to have a battery box that I made up that works just fine.
Let's turn the battery box on, and then you can see that we are 13.31 volts into the battery, 13.3 volts to the USB socket, and she glows nice and blue. That's fairly quiet. You heard what it sounded like before, and now you hear what it sounds like after. Speed 2. Speed 3. And off. It's got an automatic setting. I guess it's going to determine how clean your air is. This thing has been running for 48 hours now, so I know a little bit more about it than I did when I opened the box. It has this blue light when it is in idle mode, and if I double click the power button, it goes off. Single click the power button to turn the unit on, and it's now in auto 1 mode. Hit it again to go into non-auto mode, and then it will switch to 2, or it will switch to 3. If it is in auto mode, these colors will change from blue to orange to red to let you know that the modes have changed. It's been over 48 hours since I've had this thing running. Let's go take a look at it. I don't see much on the filter. There is a plastic mesh screen, then there is the white pleated paper, and then on the inside there is a piece of black foam. I'm going to run this for a couple more days and see what happens. And I still see no dirt on this filter. Super bright light from inside shining outward. Nothing there. She's a dud. She's going back. Not for me. If you guys know of a portable small DC powered air filter, let me know in the comments. We didn't spend the entire time drowning in water and suffering from dust allergy attacks. We also went out and saw the Homestead Festival in Waco. This was a very interesting time. Why don't you come along for the ride and see what it's all about? Well, that's what we do here. We go out and we do a little bit of sightseeing, and we also do some plumbing repairs, and we try to figure out how to just live inside of one of these trailers. We are glad that you came along for the ride. Hopefully you can subscribe to make sure you don't miss another upcoming video. There's another one right here just in case you did. I'll see you over there.